Shimmick. Going to be on number 24, Renee Haynes.
Liz Shimmick, only a junior. She's got a lot of good footwork, and the post players at Michigan State feel that Al Brown, again the assistant who was at 7 years Tennessee, and then went to some other schools, but really feels at home and helping these post players with their footwork.
Katrina Grantham, number 44, is in for the first time for Michigan State. She'll check in after this free throw. Grantham, a sophomore from Saginaw, Michigan. And she'll give Rohrig a breather.
Stephanie Blackman had averaged double-figure scoring since she was a freshman. Played behind Danielle Crawford, who went into the WNBA. Came off the bench.
And is their first ever academic All-American. That's better than the 3.4 average as a business major. Business majors are supposed to be smart, aren't they?
I wouldn't know. I wasn't one.
Neither was I. I had a 3.42, but it took 4 years to accumulate it. Bad pass by Shimmick, out of bounds. Michigan State turns it over again, and it's 13-8 Baylor. Both teams shaky early first half. Baylor and Michigan State each going after its first ever national championship in front of almost 30,000 here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, and Baylor has the early lead. Let's check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Mike, Sophia Young from Baylor University arrived in the United States as an exchange student at 15 years of age. Last week, her mother, Ann Christopher, saw her daughter play basketball for the first time. An emotional reunion hours before a regional semifinal game in Tempe has turned into a magical run to a national championship game appearance. A self-proclaimed little girl when she arrived, Sophia has turned into a woman along the journey. And for Ann Christopher, both women hoping the sacrifices they made will lead to dreams fulfilled tonight. We'll see.
All right, Doris, thanks. And we all had a geography lesson this morning, learning the St. Vincent, a tiny standalone country in the Grenadines in the West Indies. It's amazing sometimes how little we know about our world. Neiman goes inside after hitting 2 threes outside. The rebound by Blackman, and she's fouled on the follow.
That's the story right now. 12 rebounds to 4 for Baylor, leading. Baylor is 3-1 in games this year when they've out-rebounded their opponent. Michigan State 4-2, and there you see Blackman only had 1 rebound the other night against LSU, and she said, I'm coming into this game, I'm going to redeem myself on the boards.
She already has 4, and Blackman is a 77% free throw shooter, misses that one. Rohrig will come back in, and Katrina Grantham will go out.
John P. McCauley said to us today that she felt that Tennessee just was taking a shot no matter what kind of shot it was, so they could get the second and third opportunity to get an offensive rebound. In a way, that's what Baylor is doing, and Michigan State has to do a better job blocking out once the shot goes up.
Baylor up by a half a dozen. Haney trying to drive, held on the way in, and that's going to be on Angela Tisdale.
Kim Mulkey-Robertson, Mike, is not afraid to make moves as far as who's going to go in and out. Whitaker coming back into the game. She got pulled quick by
yes, she did.
Mulkey-Robertson when she took that drive. It was an ill-advised shot. She pulled her right out, and Tisdale did a pretty good job, but that time defensively got beat.
Whitaker turned it over 3 out of the first 4 times she took it down court. That'll get you a seat in a hurry. Shimmick, and that pass was off her teammate's knee, and then it's turned over on the other way, and Kristen Haney has it back. Led the Big Ten in assists, assist-to-turnover ratio, and steals, and another turnover. This on a bad pass from Lucas Perry, and that's 4 on Michigan State.
And the Spartans really do not look sharp in their offense. They're just not connecting with their passes. I mean, it's just a step away too far.
Whitaker bringing up against the pressure of Lucas Perry.
And Baylor looks like they're settling into their offense a little better.
Blackman against Rohrig. Doesn't get the roll, and Rohrig with a rebound. That's 3 for the senior.
McCauley feels they've got 6 starters. Haynes in the game now, but she has started some this game just to give her that confidence.
Shot clock at 9. Haney trying to penetrate. Picked up. Gives it off to Haynes. One and done again.
Sophia Young is so difficult because she has a 31-inch vertical, and she showed it against LSU.
Young, a 15-footer. She has 4 points. The lead has grown to 8. The biggest of the ball game for the Lady Bears. Of course, I don't think either team is going to be intimidated by being down, considering the comebacks they've made all year, and especially in the semifinals.
Baylor's doing a great job getting inside the lane. Michigan State really struggling.
Shot clock's at 5. Haney trying to penetrate. Missed the shot, fighting for her own rebound. That ball never touched the rim, and it's a shot clock violation against Michigan State. They are just having a tough time executing their offense. And Mom really enjoying Sophia's performance. Pretty good when you get a chance to see your daughter, who's an All-American, play for the first time in the playoffs and then for national championship honors.
She really showed how good she could be last year.
Ball's kicked off out of Blackman's miss. This is Neiman.
Baylor doing a good job on the offensive end, just going into the gaps right now.
Young got the ball. She was ready to shoot the minute it touched her hands.
Early on, they have figured out Michigan State's defense as far as getting in the gaps. They've gotten in the lane. They're kicking it back out with players that are stepping up right into the open area.
They're so much quicker inside than Michigan State. Roy double teamed at the baseline. Lucas Perry. And this one's knocked out of bounds by the Lady Spartans. And Baylor with a 10-point lead as we get a timeout.
Sophia Young, very active. She was a track runner. And you see how she moves right into the middle, underneath the top players. And Joanne P. McCauley not happy with the way things are running on the defensive end.
Waves off the timeout with 8:33 to go, first half. Baylor in control, and they're getting the entry passes where they want them. Roaring blocked that shot, had it knocked out of bounds, but it's off of Michigan State. Out to Baylor again.
Emily Neiman. She's the one that makes things happen. Look at her cut right into the lane after the shot is blocked by Rourke. Nobody blocks her out. That's one of the assignments for the 5 white jerseys that Joanne P. McCauley will tell you in that matchup zone. You've got to get a body on somebody, and they have lost sight of that.
But harder to block out from a zone than it is from man-to-man.
But when this is all you play, you know your assignments, and they should be doing it.
Whatever gaps there are, Baylor is finding a way to get to them. And they've got a big lineup in there now with Neiman. Shot clock at 10, and Whitaker is fouled by Kristen Haney.
Silly foul by Haney that time. Whitaker left-handed. She does not go right very often, and they are allowing her to go left.
Scott, good looking shot. Scott has 4, and Baylor's up by a dozen. They look extremely comfortable in Michigan. State still looks like it has a big case of nerve. And Kim Mulkey-Robertson said something to Melissa Barlow, one of the officials, and she blew the whistle. And I'm not sure why she would stop it with Michigan State having a possession.
For the Spartans right now offensively, they've got to start setting better screens, getting their players open. Bowen, they're getting high post passes, but it's all one-on-one right now. Good dribble drive right there, Mike, but again, they're not setting the screens, which is a part of their offense.
Bowen with the drive, and we understand the coach asked if that last shot for Baylor was a 2 or a 3. And they told her it wasn't, but that's a pretty good tactic if you want to slow things down and set your defense. Ask that question and get them to blow the whistle. 7:37 to go in the half. Baylor by 10 over Michigan State from Indianapolis. Baylor 20-10 over Michigan State, and they've been in control.
The Lady Bears have spread that matchup zone because Emily Neiman came into the game, knocked down 3. See how wide it is? And then you'll see Young sneak in down into that gap near the high post area. So right now, Michigan State Spartans, the zone has been spread. So now they'd like to pack it in a little bit more to keep everybody out of that middle. But when you've got Emily Neiman in, who's out right now, well, no, she took the ball out of bounds, but there she is.
And she's the X factor because she's a 45.7% long-range shooter. So she may get a lot more minutes than normal tonight. Shimmick, and good defense from behind on the double team. Whitaker with the steal.
You cannot take that many dribbles in the lane.
Blackman kicks it back to Whitaker. Nice drive by Scott. For Mark Jones. Mark?
That guys, during the last Michigan State huddle, Coach McCauley looking at her big post players saying, why is that high post constantly open? Meanwhile, offensively, she talked about getting more cutters into the offense, a little bit more movement. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mark. And that's going to be a foul on Latoya Wyatt, number 12, the sophomore from Fort Worth who played a year at McClellan Community College. She checks into the ball game and commits the foul. Lindsey Bowen will go to the line. And Annie, on that last trip down, it almost looked like they were in a 1-3 zone with a chaser on Neiman.
One of the things that Joanne P. McCauley talked about in this zone, that they like to pirate up top. They're not putting enough pressure. That pirate means that person up top defensively puts pressure on the point guard. They have not been able to put any pressure there. Also, Kelly Rourke, when she was saying they're letting the inside players for Baylor too deep, well, she's got to come out. She's got to come out, not only defend that high post, but now we see Shimmick down low too. You see him high, but you can beat that zone from behind.
Reached over the top, knocked it away. Blackman trying to go inside. A little two-man game out there. And Blackman scores as she takes the pass from Neiman. Blackman has a half dozen, and it's 24-12.
That's where the post players are so tough for Baylor, Mike, is that they can step out and knock down that 15-foot, 10-foot shot.
Roaring was demanding the ball, got it immediately, kicked it right back out. And Scott with a rebound, kicks it to Whitaker. Baylor showing a lot more quickness than Michigan State. And Blackman again. That time she beat Roaring to the spot and got the ball.
Transition defense was a key coming into this game for the Spartans. They have not gotten back. They're not shooting the ball well. And Baylor is taking advantage of it and running.
Baylor is taking it to Michigan State, 26-12.
We mentioned that Blackman only had 7 points against LSU the other night, and she's following it up big time. And here's the fast break situation. You can see that Kelly Rourke is late getting down, and she's not getting any help from her teammates to stop people coming down the lane.
Baylor off to this great start, and Michigan State has only scored 12 points in 14 minutes. Wednesday afternoon, our coverage of Major League Baseball on ESPN Day Game. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, and the Boston Red Sox reversed the curse last year in Yankee Stadium, but A-Rod, Jeter, and the reloaded Yankees looking to regain the crown. Wednesday night, a doubleheader. 7 Eastern, Atlanta against Florida. Then at 10 Eastern, J.D. Drew and the Giants against the Dodgers against the San Francisco Giants. Some of you may see the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. Haney coming out of the timeout. Let's see what Michigan State has. Bowen with a jumper. No offensive rebounds at all. Whitaker running. They don't have the numbers. Kicks it back to Neiman. 2 for 2 from that spot. Make it 3 for 3. I'd go stand on that spot.
I don't know. I think any spot out there right now for Neiman is hot. Bowen, who's a three-point shooter for Spartans. That's where the Spartans are getting hurt. They're not hitting outside shots. They're forcing shots inside, and they're not natural within their offense.
Boy, and Bowen just got away with a forearm shiver to push off a defender. And Kim Mulkey-Robertson really letting the official have it because it happened right in front of her and there was no call.
Emily Neiman, only a sophomore, great stop and pop, under control. She said when she was in 4th grade, she learned how to shoot correctly because she was so much more stronger than everybody else. And she was able to shoot just one-handed and the right way.
It was a lesson well learned. I mean, she's hit 3 bombs in this game. Really a huge part of her team's 17-point lead.
Reminds me like a Jerry Lucas. I know that's going way back, but that style of play.
Not for me. Kristen Haney hits another free throw. She's an 83% free throw shooter. Here's full court pressure by Michigan State with the quickness of Baylor, especially compared to Michigan State. This is a tough assignment for them, isn't it?
Mulkey-Robertson, though, the one thing coming in, we have to be poised. Be patient, don't lose your cool, and they've done that in the first half.
The other night, both teams were so far down it appeared they had no chance to come back. So right now, what does Baylor do with this deficit in 4:39 to go in the half? Young again, wheels into the lane. Rory, good defense that time, had good position and gets the rebound.
Baylor obviously saw something in the tapes against Tennessee for Michigan State on the offensive glass, and they are exploiting it.
Bowen tries to get it inside. Victoria Lucas-Perry can't handle it. And a turnover from Michigan State. There are only so many possessions you get in a game, so many opportunities. And Michigan State is certainly squandering some here in the first half.
You're right, Mike. And for the Spartans, too, right now, you start pressing a little bit. And you press on defense and you start reaching a little bit. They just need one basket to break the ice.
Whitaker bringing it up against Lucas-Perry. Right down the lane, foul on the way in by Victoria Lucas-Perry, the sophomore from Flint, Michigan. Of course, we talked about the semifinals, what tremendous comebacks. They had one team 15, the other 16. In the championship game, Louisiana Tech holds the all-time record. They came back from 14 down. Southern Cal had a 13-point deficit reduced. Another offensive rebound off a miss. Young, good passing, got it to Wyatt. Shimmick came out, got a block, and then Baylor continues to fight for the rebound. Good defense by Shimmick, but it goes for naught as there's another foul on Michigan State. Back in a moment.
Very much in control here in the first half, thanks in part to Emily Neiman's outside shooting. Now, most times, guys, family members show up at a national championship game. For Emily's brother, Jeff, that a little bit tough at this time of the year. The 4th pick in the 2004 Major League Draft. He was 17-0 on a national championship team at Rice. And I asked her, would she step in the batter's box against him? She said, absolutely. There's no question some of the toughness, guys, comes from that sibling rivalry.
I'll tell you what, that was a brilliant pitching staff that Rice had. It's our pleasure to call those games for College World Series in Omaha. 17-0 is a pretty good record. Baylor 29-13 over Michigan State. The Spartans need a couple of buckets in the worst way. They're going to try to go to Shimmick. She's double teamed, has the ball knocked out of bounds. The shot clock down to 13. Baylor has done such a great job, even when Michigan State runs its offense well, and forcing him to take a long time.
Michigan State is not running their offense well. The spacing is poor. They're too tight, and they can't get those passes in there. That's not a bad shot, Mike, only in the sense that she was wide open. If they set more on-ball screens, they might get some more open looks.
Neiman goes down on the low post and steps out, takes a three. How about that? She's hit 4 3-point shots in this game, and this was a girl who came into the tournament in a terrible shooting slump. In the semifinals, she hit 5 out of 7. She's hit 4 threes tonight, and Haney answers at the other end, but it's 32-15 Baylor.
Neiman's high is 6 3-pointers against Colorado.
Got a shot at that in half. And that was a great move. She just backed out on the baseline until she got past the three-point line and drilled it.
He has that step-back move. Knows how to pivot.
Young trying to hit Neiman. Too high a pass. And the 7th turnover against Baylor.
Emily Neiman deep in the corner. And she didn't hardly even bend her knees, did she?
Just perfect shots. She had 4 out of 5. And it's 32 to 15. Baylor with 2:28 and counting first half. Rory has it blocked by Neiman. Saved by Michigan State. Bowen for 3. Big shot. Bowen is a 44% long-range shooter, and the school record holder has 7 points.
Obviously a key for the Spartans if Bowen can get any kind of hot hand to them.
Baseline, Blackman. No. Knocked out of bounds out to the Lady Spartans.
Just that one shot should open things up for Bowen and the rest of her teammates.
There's the graphic about the fewest number of points in the first half. Michigan State has scored only 18 as we go under 2 minutes. Bowen trying to hit Haney. Did they get the timeout? Or is she out of bounds first? Whitaker is out of bounds.
That's a great move defensively. Kim Mulkey-Robertson really stressed that in practice today, that if the offensive player for Michigan State drives in the lane, and if there's help already there, you don't have to go all the way. Whitaker didn't. She stepped in, got a hand on it. You got to come back and recover.
Bowen, same spot, same result. And Scott knows she made a mistake. Somebody hits one, and 30 seconds later they go to the same spot. You'd better get there.
Mulkey-Robertson just looking at Scott. Scott's done a pretty good job, though, on her most of this first half. She's long at 6 feet and has those arms that can really make it difficult for Bowen to get open. Here she stands at the three-point shot, says, okay, I dare you. And Bowen says, hey, I got range, just like Neiman.
And Bowen is so cold-blooded. She had a terrible game against Stanford from a scoring standpoint. Stanford being the #1 team in the country, but only a 2 seed. She didn't have a basket until there was 28 seconds left to go in the game. She had a huge shot, then had an assist and 2 free throws down the stretch. Coming up on ESPN's Singular Halftime Report with Reese Davis, Lisa Leslie, and Stacey Dale-Schumann. We'll take a look at the second half adjustments these teams might make. And Michigan State's Tom Izzo will join us live, making an appearance here after the great run that his men's team had for the Spartans. Neiman again, short on this, maybe a step beyond her range. Haney, great penetration. 8 straight points for Michigan State, 32-23. Comebacks in every game, Annie.
She put the afterburners on, split the defense on that one.
Yes, she did, and they needed it desperately. Neiman in her favorite spot, dogged by Haney.
A little bit more pressure on the perimeter.
Young, double team, foul.
Looked like a tie-up there.
Did.
Young showed her strength, though, pulling through it.
Foul will be on Roaring.
Roaring almost got an elbow in the face. She might have, and that's a tough call for
Yes, it was.
Michigan State.
Could have been a tie-up, could have been a travel, and ended up being a foul. And Young gets the first, she'll have another. Kodak All-American and the MVP of the Tempe Regional averaged 22.4 points a game in the NCAA and 8